It's the most wonderful time of the year. With the kids jingle bells.
Merry Christmas!
Looks like Martha Stewart threw up in here.
This is delicious, honey.
It's a little dry.
Well, mine's delicious.
Mine's dry.
Do you want to trade?
It's Christmas. It's Christmas. It's Christmas.
With those holiday greetings and gifts.
How we were going to survive Christmas with 12 people stuck in a house with no heat and no electricity.
Or food.
There's plenty of leftovers, Howard.
Beer it is.
It's the weirdest thing. There's no cars, no people.
How long can this keep up?
We heard something on the roof.
The hell's this?
Saint Nicholas is not coming this year. Instead, a much darker, ancient spirit.
Those are hooves. Elk?
Or a goat? What kind of goat walks on its hind legs?
His name is Krampus. He and his helpers did not come to give, but to take.
Everybody, hold on to each other.
He is the shadow of Saint Nicholas.
It's Christmas.
Games, Brains, and a Head-Banging Life here with another Christmas horror review. Although this one, I think, stretches the limits of horror. And aside from a few moments, could probably fall under fantasy more than anything. Dark fantasy.
Yeah.
When I think horror, this isn't what I necessarily come to. Yeah. I think you could watch this with children and it'd be totally fine.
Yeah. Yeah,
whereas,
that's your point on that one.
Would you watch All Through the House?
No.
With children?
No.
Do you see? There's the difference. You know, and I realise horror is subjective, and this does have scary moments, but I think a lot of it might entertain. It is, of course, 2015's Krampus. Yes, the movie. That is called Krampus. Forget all the other variations that try to cash in, or piggyback it, by calling a movie something like Krampus Origins, for those people who might not be paying that much attention and think this is in some way related. But it is not. It's Christmas comedy horror based upon the eponymous character from folklore, of course. Written and directed by Michael Dougherty and co-written by Todd Casey and Zach Shields. Film stars Adam Scott, Toni Collette, David Colchner, Alison Tolman, Conchata Ferrell, MJ Anthony, and Stefania LaVey Owen. Strong cast, we'll say this. Definitely. Obviously, some names there you should be very aware of. Adam Scott of Hellraiser fame. Yeah, we're going to be stuck in that forever. When he popped up in his debut? I think it was his debut film role in Hellraiser Bloodlines as the French aristocrat Jacques. We are now stuck with that forever for Adam Scott. Forget all the other things like Parks and Recreation and all that. He will forever be Jacques to us. Toni Collette, obviously one of the finest actors in the world, responsible for many great movies from Little Miss Sunshine through to Krampus, through to Hereditary. Sixth Sense. She's got a hell of a career behind her, and she's very, very talented and is, of course, excellent in this as well. David Colchner. It's what I'm mainly known from as Anchorman. That's it, really. And the rest of the cast, the younger kids and all that, I don't really know anything they're from. A couple of faces that I was like, you've been in stuff.
Yeah, like the in-laws, the sister.
Yeah.
I've seen her in a few things, but you know, they all work really well together. I think they're good cast. Oh, the mum, the aunt, Dorothy.
Yeah.
She was like a main character in 2.5 Men.
Was she?
Died quite recently. Yeah.
Oh,
she was
okay.
Like she was like the living housekeeper almost.
I've never watched the show, so
she played that quite well. Yeah,
no clue. But yeah, this is a good movie. I don't think this is a great movie. People tend to sort of say this is a great movie. I think it's a good movie. I think the things that make it good are things like its practical effect use, its monster design, and its visual aesthetic quality.
It looks really kind of festive, and it looks really festive.
It does. It certainly does. And its opening, I guess, will kind of touches upon that as we get kind of like a slow motion Christmas track playing of shoppers going mental at Christmas. And it's here we're introduced to the main cast as we see the young boy Max having a fight at, I guess, a manger, kind of like
nativity play.
The nativity play, that kind of thing, which is taking place in the store. That's a bit weird, isn't it?
I don't know why that'd be in the store. Unless they're raising money for charity, they do it in a big event like that. That's the only thing I can think of is you want to raise some money in local community and do it in the mall.
It's an alright opening. It'll make a few people laugh. To me, it's an over the top portrayal of that whole like people going crazy at Christmas that you're led to believe, and you occasionally see clips of Black Friday and stuff like that. You know, it really reminded me of like the Zombieland introduction with the slow motion. It's like all these funny little clips and stuff put together. But as I say, we're introduced to our main character. Main characters back at their home, very Home Alone style street as well. Big houses, quiet, very snowy, very wintry outside. And of course, so we have our main family, which is Adam Scott, Toni Collette, their characters, plus their teenage daughter and young son Max, and Adam Scott's elderly mother, Omi, who lives with them. She's German. She speaks German a lot throughout the film. That's where she's from. That's important, actually, to the kind of plot, because she understands and knows the Krampus folklore story. And they have family coming over, which is Toni Collette's sister, her husband, and their 3 kids. They're written as a bunch of obnoxious people. However, I don't actually like this side of things. I think it's forced, and I also think it's unfair, because the other family, Toni Collette's family and them, Scott, to me are the other side of obnoxious, which is they think they're better than them, and they've got their noses in the air up a little bit about, they're rednecks, basically. They're family rednecks.
There's no subtlety to it either.
Not at all.
It's either one sister's very neat and prim and proper and made gravlax for Christmas dinner, and the other side are like, what the fuck's gravlax? And why are you cooking so much? And there's four kids in the end. There's like the mute boy.
Oh, and there's a little baby.
There's a little baby.
The little baby. Don't forget the little baby. Yeah.
Obviously, though, you're quite a big growing family, and noisy, boisterous.
Yeah, exactly that. But and so the way they're written and portrayed, it's very basic character stuff. Is like, for example, the two young girls of the redneck family are like boyish and look like boys. So there's lots of jokes about them want to do wrestling and shooting and stuff like that. But Max, who is far too old for his character to work in this film for me, which is he still believes in Santa and Christmas, and he wants Christmas to happen and families to get along and all that. And he's written a note to Santa that gets read out by one of the kids at the table, and it's stuff about the family, basically. I wish my parents loved each other more and that kind of thing. Obviously turns into a ruck and a fight, and in his frustration he rips up the letter, obviously having lost his faith with Christmas, and throws it out the window. You then get your big ominous clouds rushing over the house kind of thing. It's as a setups go, I'm surprised I continued. I mean, I'm not surprised I continued it, because I watch everything to the end, no matter what. But I think a lot of people might have given up and thought, this is pretty basic, boring crap.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't have thought that at all.
I think it's very, just so like one note, I've seen all this shit before, war and families, Christmas, I'm not getting along.
But the film's called Krampus, so you already know there's something.
But if you're
coming.
Yeah, but then if you don't really, if you watch Christmas horror regularly, you're not expecting something quality here.
Yeah, but on the flip side, if you don't, you might want to go, oh, it's got Krampus.
I'm saying people might have given up because it's a pretty bare bones beginning. Like, it is not, it's all been done,
But at least it's done quickly. They get to it.
You reckon? I think the dinner table scene goes on for far too long. I think it's like, okay, we've got to establish these characters beyond the notes we've given them, and they don't. It's like, here's a question then for you. Aunt Dorothy, Toni Collette's character, despises her Aunt Dorothy.
Yeah.
Why? Go on, why?
I don't know, the drinking thing. Maybe she's not being
No, maybe. No.
Yeah.
Nope. Why? You tell me what the film said about that to explain all of that.
No. They just hint to her drinking, but don't say that she drinks too much and gets like leery with it. So maybe like that doesn't fit in with Tony Collette's perfect Christmas.
That's a lot of maybes and ifs.
Yeah, but that's the only thing I can think of is like she's a bit too messy for her perfect gift wrap Christmas.
Okay, that's
The
fine.
magazine Christmas.
But like I said, what's the actual reason? Where is it? Okay, what does Adam Scott's character do for a job that apparently takes him away, but also has caused a strain in his marriage?
Well, he's got money, so it's a job that pays well, and obviously a lot of stress. But they don't say what he does for a job. They
But
just
then
assume
they want us to accept that apparently there's a strain in their marriage, enough that Max had to write about it in his letter.
Yeah. Yeah.
See the problem?
Yeah. They do kind of make you kind of piece quite a bit together.
Well, I don't think. Do you actually sitting there wondering about these things? You weren't, because this wasn't what we're watching this for. That is the reality of it. They've set up characters bare on the basis of in a bit you won't even care, and that is true.
Yeah.
In a bit, I didn't care because things get weird. A snowstorm, a full on and blizzard snowstorm kicks in. Power goes in the house. Max notices snowmen appearing in the garden. The youngest daughter, what's her name?
Oh, I can't remember.
Can bring up the cast.
Yeah, I can't remember the daughter's name.
It is. Where is it?
Beth.
Yes, yeah. Stefana LaVey Owen is Beth. She goes to see her boyfriend, and in the snowstorm gets attacked by something. Where you just see like it's hooves. She hides in her car, and then a Jack in the Box opens, and she gets attacked by something in there. I did like the fact that it appeared to kill off a young character straight away. It was like, oh, okay, don't expect that kind of thing.
The main character of the family. Yeah, it kind of takes you by surprise. Like, oh, okay, so they've got rid of her then.
Yeah. And basically, that's kind of what happens. They end up having to go look for her. The snowstorm's so bad, they start to get frostbite. More snowmen appear. And we kind of just build up towards what's going on until eventually Adam Scott Tom and David Colchner, Howard, they go out. The idea is they're going to go out and get the plow, his van, and go look for it and so on. But they end up coming across a house that's been effectively wrecked and broken into. And it's there they kind of realise strange things are going on and stuff like that. They then get attacked by what is effectively a snowworm. Snowworms.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's where Howard gets hurt by it. They get back home. They realise there's something out there. And they kind of bed down and board up and stuff like that. And yeah, there's a lot of bit of back and forth thing where characters are like, oh yeah, now we're under attack. You really mean a lot to me. That kind of crap.
Yeah.
You know?
And so there doesn't seem to be much urgency when things happen or panic.
I said it was a real problem that they were like, the only one who kind of really shows urgency is Tony Collette's character of Sarah about missing Beth. But a lot of the time it's like, oh, and like for example, the mute boy, what's his name? Maverick. Howie Jr. Played by Maverick Flack. Like he gets grabbed with a hook and pulled up the chimney, and after that's happened, everyone's just like, "Oh, okay," and then just like carries on.
Yeah, it's weird. Like there's no kind of like that. But
that's
the problem,
a kid
though,
gone
because
missing.
you have to kind of carry on the film, and I don't know if you could carry on that intensity when there's so much going on, so many people.
It's true, yeah, you're right, but like it is a bit of a you don't seem that bothered about the fact your kid was just ripped up the chimney and taken away apparently. And there's a lot of that sort of stuff where we then hear the backstory of Krampus done in animation style claymation.
I think so.
Sort of style where Omi.
Yeah, the grandma.
Yeah, she tells a story of how her town in Germany was attacked by Krampus, but he left her alive, killed everyone or took everyone, left her alive with a bell to remind her like, you've got to have Christmas in your heart kind of thing. And this family haven't lost Christmas, and Max's letter has resulted in Krampus coming to take them all, apparently. You do get some wicked cool shots, like where Max is looking out with binoculars and Krampus is on a roof. There's a part where early on with Beth is jumping between rooftops, and you don't quite see him, but you get the impression of a big beast and that kind of thing, and I do like that. Not a lot happens for a while until the toys.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it slows down a bit.
Yeah, it does slow down a bit.
Why it's so obvious. There's no panic over the kids going missing. No real panic, like heart stopping. Oh my God, my kids are going missing. And like, is there one part where I think when Harry goes upstairs, and none of them go upstairs?
Yeah, the two girls go upstairs where they get attacked by
the
toys. So they brought in a pile of toys in a sack that was brought in by Linda. Thinking it was for her sister family and so on. Anyway, after a fire burns the tree, she's trying to rewrap them upstairs, and she notices they're a bit odd and a bit old-fashioned looking, that kind of thing. The the two boyish girls go upstairs thinking they hear Beth, and then you hear them screaming. Everyone goes upstairs, and basically these toys are Krampus's minions, having broken out. Do love this entire set of events. You want a frantic, fast-paced, action-packed, well put together sequence. All of this works, a mix of practical effects and CGI. So upstairs, Tony Collette, Sarah, Adam Scott Tom, and Linda Allison Tolman are attacked by several different toys up there. A bear that has big sharp teeth and claws, a flying winged angel looking thing with a great face as well, and then the cream of the crop, the Jack in the Box.
Oh, it looks horrific.
It's massive, and it's played by a person obviously in a suit in one part, but it's got its jaw opens wide, and it's a monster basically, and these are practically designed creatures.
It pays off.
It's brilliant. The way it behaves and acts and moves, it's like a mindless monster, but it's eating one of the girls and attacked the other. While downstairs, Howard, David Colchner, is attacked by CGI gingerbread men. The CGI is pretty good, and this works. I'm okay with it.
A bit more comical, isn't it? Yeah.
You have the monster upstairs. You have a bit more comedic thing as these gingerbreads are dicks. Shooting with a nail gun and all that.
Yeah, just go through like a tea tray, doesn't it? So it keeps it Christmas. Obviously, they're baking Christmas cookies, and he's like trying to keep himself alive. Yeah, it's quite good.
Yeah. So he ends up fighting them up, saved by his dog with the last one that's on fire that jumps towards them. Upstairs, they manage to fight and beat off. Oh, there's also the robot, like Puppet Master style robot with the blades that's fucking up Adam Scott. They end up fighting off most of them, thanks to Sarah kind of having enough, and they kind of all rally on the Jack-in-the-Box creature, which ends up in the walls. But because they've boarded everything up and can't get out, and you hear it in the walls, they send a dog in after it, and you hear the dog fighting it before it crashes through the roof and falls down. This is kind of the end of this sequence, as we then lead into the next one. And I love it. This creature, you hear the ringing of bells, and this creature, like, knowing, starts clapping, and basically, like, little evil elves bust through the front of the house. They come in and they basically grab a couple of people at once. They grab Dorothy. This is where Howard gets dragged off as well as he tries to save her. The elves all back out, and the rest are like, look, we're going to have to make a run for it. But Omi, Grandma, stays behind. I don't like this part. She's like, oh, I have to face off against Krampus. She should lock the door. And like Adam Scott, Tom's like, well, we'll just go in the window then. And Max is like, no, she's got to do this, leave her. And they're like, all right, then cool. Yeah. That's your mother, man. Yeah. You're not just going, oh, okay then.
Accept that and just go, all right, bye.
No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't. But as you say, got to move the movie on so people make stupid decisions. Yeah. Krampus arrives. We see him from the back. He's huge, hulking beast kind of thing. We will see his face later on. I'll be honest, I'm not too sure about it.
I like it because I read that it was based on different like postcards of Krampus.
I think it looks like a mask. That's my problem. It's not. It doesn't move. So because of that, it doesn't look that good.
Like a death mask almost. Yeah.
But so basically everyone gets killed off in quick fashion here. Massive fashion as they're trying to make a way to a snowplow they found earlier on. People are just dragged and pulled under and dragged and pulled under. Yeah. And like the music swells like it's got to be like an emotional kind of bit, and it would be if it wasn't so many in such quick fashion. Yeah, you're like, whoa, you know?
All gone. Yeah.
And it's the last as Max and one of the boyish girls as they're inside the snowplow, but it won't start. They get tapped by the elves. She gets dragged off. Krampus arrives, faces off with Max, and gives him the bell. E.g., Max is going to be one that's left behind
which makes sense.
To remember it. But Max refuses to accept that. He goes and chases off a Krampus who's getting into his sleigh, and he kind of calls him an asshole, shouts at him. Krampus creates like a pit, like to hell, I guess, because you hear the sound of people screaming and stuff like that kind of thing. And they drop in the boyish girl, so she's got to leave, and just Max. Max demands that he takes back, like
the wish.
I didn't want all this. I didn't want all this kind of thing. And Krampus laughs at him, picks him up, and drops him into the pit. Now, this brings us to the ending. Now, this is actually, unsurprisingly, the most critical part of the movie for a lot of people. And I get it. It's because you can look at it two ways. I like my way of looking at it, but I now know it's not the actual ending.
Oh, okay.
Which I think kind of sucks then. So I'm going to tell you how I view this end of this movie. So Max wakes up in bed the next day and the entire family are there. Everyone looks like a lovely, jolly Christmas morning. Everyone's having good fun. He's sitting around open presents. None of the arguing's there. Everyone's fine.
Yeah,
and
but it's still normal because they're still like poking fun at each other.
Yeah. It's
nice,
not.
It's friendly.
But the hue suggests otherwise. The hue, it's kind of bright and all that. To me, suggests otherwise. And Max is like, they're like, oh, you're all right. He's like, oh, I had a bad dream and all that kind of thing. Anyway, as they're sitting on the chair, you sort of see everyone's expression sort of change, as if they're remembering or experiencing what just happened to them.
Because he gets a bell, doesn't he?
That's it, the
he
bell.
Gets a present.
Yeah, the Krampus bell comes out of the present, and you sort of see the faces change, particularly on Sarah and Tom, Tony Collette and Adam Scott. Good acting here. Camera zooms out of the house and then zooms out, and it's a snow globe, and you sort of see it's in like Krampus's workshop as he's moving about. Now, for me, I took that as, they're in limbo. Like, he did take them all, and this is what they will have to experience forever now.
Yeah.
Knowing what happened and stuff like that.
That's right, isn't it?
That is not correct.
No?
Nope.
Oh.
Nope. All it actually is they got returned back to normal. Krampus is watching them just like he's watching other families.
Like CCTV?
Yep. And their faces were that they did kind of have a flash of a memory of the experience they went through. Now, to me, I find that very disappointing.
Oh.
And it's almost like, you had to give them a happy ending, did you?
Because everyone's a lot bleaker. Mm-hmm. But then in a way, they're stuck together forever. They'd have a nice Christmas all the time. Oh, that's a bit...
Yeah, I accept the fact that my version is not the ending, but I think mine's better. In my personally, I do think it's. I don't know. I like the bleaker ending. I like the idea that they're stuck in a terminal Christmas Day, and having to relive the events over and over again. I think that's kind of cool. It kind of ties into things like Groundhog Day as well.
Yeah.
So but there you go.
Okay, so that's taking the edge off it a little bit for me.
It does. But yeah, that's Krampus in a nutshell. I think. It's got so many things that are enjoyable about it, from the great effects, the great location. We talked in another review about Feeling Cold, Black Christmas, about selling that side of things. This movie nails it, considering it's all set as well.
Yeah. Like even when they go into the boyfriend and the daughter's house, they go into it, and it's obviously where it's all been smashed by the storm, and obviously Krampus going through. There's like ice on everything already, and it does look really cold. When they come back, they're all like wind chill burns.
Yeah, like his Adam Scott's face has got red marks and stuff like that. Like the wind chill, that kind of thing. I think they nail that aspect of it wonderfully. The practical effects of the monsters are fantastic. Krampus does look particularly good as well. The whole effects thing, I can't knock it. And the brief CGI they do use is still solid and good.
But I use it in a comical effect, which makes it, that's fine.
He couldn't really not do that CGI. That's the fact, because of what you needed, particularly with the expressiveness of these gingerbread men. You would have got a bit stupid trying to do it practical, really.
Yeah, of course.
More than anything else. Where the movie falls down for me is its characters. And it's not the portrayal of the actors. I think the actors do a great job. But they're not asked, you're not asking much of them.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? Like, they've got Adam Scott, a funny guy, not playing a funny guy.
Yeah.
Which is a strange thing to not play to his strengths.
Yeah.
You've got Toni Collette doing a role she could probably do in her sleep, which is harassed mother.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a...
She could probably do it in her sleep.
Yeah.
You've got David Colchner, a funny man, not doing a funny thing. He's got some good lines in his sort of rednecky way, but let's be honest, you've got characters and you're not using them how you should have been.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really get that. I'm not saying Adam Scott should have been a Joker, but shit, that man's got wit.
Yeah.
Surely he could have had a little bit of a comeback line. And instead, his entire thing is, he's like insulted a lot by Howard, that kind of thing, because he's like Howard sees him as a pansy or whatever.
I think they didn't want to go too far with David Colchner and his lot being too far the other way, because you do have a choice not to invite your family at
Absolutely.
Christmas.
Yeah, there has to be a limit.
Like, if they were just too much for a hand, you'd be like, we're going away for Christmas, or we're just not doing anything. Like, just you wouldn't come up. So that's be kind of borderline. You can put up with them, because otherwise you wouldn't invite them.
It does play on the whole idea is that at Christmas you put up with obnoxious members of your family because it's Christmas. And I get that, but to me that's so basic, it's unenjoyable to watch. That's
Too many
like,
people.
Okay, except I'm not buying it, because particularly as well in regards to Sarah, if you don't like these people or you don't get along with your sister and all that, it's not a requirement for you to invite her over. It's not like all the rest of the family there. Your mother's dead, your parents are dead, that's established in the movie.
Yeah.
You don't have to do this. So why are you? So that's kind of where my criticism of that comes from. I don't particularly feel any affinity towards the important character either, which is Max.
Boring. No, I find him a bit... Yeah.
Too much, right?
They made him too old to be... For what? So like you said at the beginning, they made him too old.
To be this Christmas obsessed?
Yeah, and he was quite... He was like... The whole sensitivity is not a problem and what he's writing about, but the fact it was rated to Christmas was like to the Santa Claus was a bit... Yeah... I mean, I think the fight at the beginning does touch upon that because they have a fight about believing in Christmas.
Yeah, because he was angry that the other boy was spoiling Christmas for little kids.
Yeah.
And it's like, what?
Didn't you believe it? Yeah.
It's all a bit, nah.
Yeah, so I don't really bond much with him.
No, but good actor, MJ Anthony he's put in a starring role here and is to work across some established people. So I mean, I won't knock any of the acting here. I think there's some quality stuff, but my reason for watching this is very, very simple, and the reason why I do think it's a recommended watch and all that is because you can unchain your brain.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna think hard,
No.
and you can just enjoy what is a pretty spectacular. High budget, 15 million budget for a Christmas movie with strong actors. Now, that's no bad thing. We should always want this sort of thing to be successful and enjoyable.
Did it properly, because like you've seen with Krampus, you've seen many Krampus more than me of just them just trying to throw no money at it, and it's a monster. You've got to make it a monster. So this is what they did. Like even like say like sound effects of the Who's landing, just something like that is so good. Yeah. Yeah,
and it pays off. I do think it pays off. It's certainly, and it's one of the most well-known Christmas horrors for that reason. But let us know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. You can check us out on gbhbl.com as well as on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and Tumblr. Go to Patreon to help us out over there. That's patreon.com/gbhbl, as well as Big Cartel, where you can find some of our merchandise. We have a podcast running on SoundCloud and Apple Podcasts. And of course, if you like this video, do us a favour, hit the subscribe button and help the channel grow. Games, horror and heavy metal. What else is life for?